But we get to our game, and I really believe our game has a lot of intrigue as well. When you've got Nebraska at Wisconsin, 7:30 on NBC, 7 o'clock college countdown per usual. Both teams are 5-5. So winner gets to a bowl game, loser has to wait another week and try to give themselves another chance. And the main stories in this game, let's start on the Nebraska side. What's the quarterback situation going to look like there? Because you mentioned the turnovers, and Heinrich Haarberg had a couple early. He had that early interception that was horrendous in the last game, and it plagued them in that game against Maryland. He ends up getting hurt. He hurts his ankle, and that could be a concern. He looked like he could come back in potentially, and there's talk that he's going to be okay. But if he's hampered by the ankle, he's such a dual threat that completely changes his game. Then Jeff Sims comes in and turns it over 3 times, I believe. He had 2 interceptions and a fumble. And then Chuba Purdy comes in, who's not even 100%, who's been putting off surgery that he needs to get on an injury that he's had for the majority of the season. He's their 3rd-string quarterback. He comes in, leads the team all the way down the field, and throws an inexplicable interception on 3rd and goal, which the play calling on that was interesting. And there's a lot that you can go into. But what's the quarterback situation going to look like for a Nebraska team that's defense has been unbelievable throughout this season?
Yeah, I mean that's the $1 million question right now, right? We'll be talking to Matt Rule tomorrow, and that's what we need to find out, because I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I don't know what the good answer, right answer is going to be. You know, they seemed like, I mean, obviously they went out in the transfer portal and they handpicked Jeff Sims, who had a really nice career at Georgia Tech. He's a big guy, strong arm, good runner. He had turnover problems in his years of starting at Georgia Tech. And from game 1, he had trouble holding onto the ball and taking care of the ball. And eventually they just could not get it corrected, and it was putting them in such a hole, and their defense was playing well. They went to Haarberg, and Haarberg is not nearly the thrower. I mean, mechanically, he's not a good-looking thrower. He's got a strong arm, but it's very erratic. He's going to be about a 50% completion guy, but he's big and he's tough and he can run. And, you know, they've already incorporated some option into their offense, kind of going back to the glory days of Nebraska and trusting their defense. But again, the turnovers, it's just hard to win. It's hard to win in college football today if you are minus 14 on the turnover margin. And that's what they are. And I mean, it's been multiple turnovers every game for them. And, you know, you can have the perfect X's and O's and make the great play calls and all of that. If you aren't able to take care of the football, you're going to have a tough time winning. So, yeah, the quarterback situation is question number 1 when it comes to Nebraska. The question number 1 for Wisconsin is, you know, Braelon Allen. What's the situation with him? Because they're clearly a different team with or without him. He came back after missing a couple games. He only had 3 carries, and then he sat out the rest of the game. So I don't know if he's not able to play, if he is able to play. Again, we'll find that out when we get to Madison. But that's a big difference and a big factor for them. If he's healthy and if he can play, they already got Tanner Mordecai back, who had good numbers, just couldn't get him in the end zone, you know, until there were 11 seconds left in the game. But they do need to be able to run the football and have balance, and Braelon Allen makes them a better football team.
And, of course, missing Ches Malusi, who's out for the year. That was an injury occurred about midway through the season. And you feel like if at least they had him, you can rely on him. Don't have that. So they definitely need Braelon Allen back. This is going to be a fascinating game for so many reasons. 2 first-year head coaches with their programs, respectively. Of course, not first-year head coaches all around. But Matt Rule's done an outstanding job of building back up Nebraska within the quick period. Todd's prediction of bowl eligibility for the Huskers is in the balance here. If they can win one of the final 2.
Balance now, yeah. They looked really good a couple weeks ago. I don't know.
Yeah. They got to win one of these final 2. As for Luke Fickell's first year in Madison, I think it's a little unfair to say that it's been such a disappointment. You can say that because of a lot of the expectation that he brought and certainly the talent that they had. But you lose your starting quarterback when they lost their starting quarterback. They were playing good football. They were, 5-2 before all of this, and they've lost 3 in a row. So there's that. You lose Ches Malusi. Braelon Allen's been in and out of the lineup. I think you've got to give a little bit of the grace period here. And then there's been a lot of comments from Luke Fickell and Hunter Waller, their star safety. So a lot of storylines, and we're going to be able to tell you all of those storylines come Saturday. Make sure you tune in, 7:30 kick, 7 o'clock college countdown. and bowl eligibility on the line between Nebraska and Wisconsin as we get to our Xfinity Big Connections on and off the field. And that goes right back to this game. They're playing for the Freedom Trophy. Nebraska and Wisconsin trophy was created back in 2014 and paid tribute to our nation's veterans. So a week after Veterans Day, really excellent timing. It is made of bronze, features images of both teams' football stadiums, half of it Memorial, half of it Camp Randall. There's a great look at it right there. I'm going to be honest. I just think that anytime you get to play for a trophy, even if it doesn't mean a whole lot in standings or it doesn't mean a whole lot in overall, I don't know, glory, whatever, it's special. It means something to those players. And you can always see it after a game when they get to hoist that trophy into the air. And so I'm always a fan of that. Any more trophies we can add, give it to me. That one's impressive. I'm not going to lie.
That's a nice looking trophy. I mean, I like all those, whether it's the pig they hold up or the axe, I mean, it's pretty fun to see. So, yeah.
So we'll be there again, both teams 5-5. So we'll see who can find a way. Wisconsin leads the all-time matchup 12-4. That includes winning every single meeting since 2014. Nebraska won the regular season matchup back in 2012. Wisconsin then won the Big Ten championship that same year.